Hello and Namaste. Before I begin, I request you to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon for reminders. You will be notified whenever I post a new video. You will find interesting insights on temple art, literature and philosophy on this channel. The second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is arguably the most important chapter of Gita. In this chapter, Krishna summarizes the entire teaching of Gita. Some of the most famous and iconic verses of Gita are from this chapter. The first chapter ended with Arjuna expressing his sorrow and confusion to Krishna. The second chapter begins with Sanjaya describing Arjuna's state of mind. Tam tata kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam. His attachments overpower him and his tears blur his vision. It is a beautiful pun. Ashrupurna kulekshanam. His tears blur his vision, literally and metaphorically. If Arjuna was expecting sympathy from Krishna, he was going to be disappointed. Krishna does not coddle him. He tells Arjuna point blank that he should be ashamed of himself. He uses some pretty harsh words. Klaibyam masmagama partha naitatva yupapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaptotishta parantapa. This faint-heartedness does not befit you, Arjuna. This is unmanly and shameful. Pull yourself together and get up, Arjuna. There are some verses of Gita which I repeat to myself often. These verses help me deal with difficult situations. This is one such verse. Whenever I feel despondent and dejected, I repeat this verse to myself. This faint-heartedness does not befit you, Archana. Pull yourself together and snap out of it. It's a verse which all of us could use, especially in today's circumstances. Krishna's words jolt Arjuna out of his complacency. After listening to this tough talk from Krishna, he realizes he needs guidance. It dawns on him that he is not thinking clearly. He tells Krishna, Karpanya dosho prahat swabhavaha prichamitvam dharma sammuda chetaha yachreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapannam. My mind is overpowered by misery and my intellect is deluded. I don't know what is right. I ask you to tell me what is good for me. I am your student. I surrender to you. Teach me what is right. To indicate the importance of this moment, Vyasacharya changes the meter of the verse. It is a technique which Vyasacharya employs throughout the Gita. The meter of a poem is the length of each line of the poem. Most of the verses of Bhagavad Gita are in a meter called Anushtup Chandas. Each line of the verse is 8 syllables long. Those of you who chant Vishnu Sahasranamam will be familiar with this meter. However, this particular verse is in a meter called Trishtup Chandas. Each line has 11 syllables. Vyasacharya uses this change in meter as a way of highlighting important verses. It is his way of saying, pay close attention, this is very important. Why is it so important? It shows the mental transformation of Arjuna, a transformation which all of us require if we have to be eligible for Atma Jnanam or self-knowledge. In this verse, Arjuna realizes he needs guidance and surrenders to Krishna. Only after this, Krishna starts teaching to Arjuna. From being Arjuna's friend, Krishna becomes Arjuna's guru. If you are a spiritual seeker, there is a question which often arises in your mind. How do I find the right guru? It is very confusing because we have so many schools of thought in our religion. Each one claims that they have the right answers. Our scriptures make a promise to all seekers. You don't worry about this. When you are ready, you will find your guru. Just like Arjuna found his guru as soon as he was ready to receive this knowledge. Krishna begins his teaching with the very essence of Vedanta. In 15 verses, he summarizes the entire Advaita Siddhanta. Each word of these 15 verses has such deep meaning that it requires several years of Vedantic study to understand these verses fully. Only Jagat Guru Sri Krishna himself could achieve this incredible feat. The crux of Krishna's teaching is this: you are not this body and mind. You are the immortal Atma, which is neither born nor dies. It is your ignorance that makes you think that you can kill Bhishma and Drona. There was never a time when they did not exist, and there will never be a time when they cease to exist. There is no need to grieve for any of these people. Vyasacharya gives a beautiful description of Atma in a verse which he again highlights in Trishtup Chandas. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिद् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. The Atma is neither born at any time nor will it die. It does not come into existence, neither will it disappear. It is birthless, deathless, decayless and growthless. It is unaffected by whatever happens to the body. Let me explain this with an analogy. Imagine you are a pot of water floating in the ocean. You think you are the pot, so you assume you are limited, you are fragile, and you are mortal. You are a tiny, insignificant thing floating in the vast and limitless ocean. You are afraid of so many other things that are floating in the ocean because any collision can damage you or break you. Storms frighten you. You stay close to other pots thinking it will make you less vulnerable. You are constantly tossed around in the waves and the turbulence of the ocean. This is called samsara. What Vedanta says is that you are looking at this the wrong way. You are not the pot with some water in it. You are the ocean trapped inside the pot. This pot will come and go, but you will always remain. You are the boundless and immortal ocean. All you have to do to escape this fear and insecurity is change your perspective. You have to realize that you are not the pot. You are the water which pervades the entire ocean. Once you know this, you have nothing to fear. Pots can come and go, but you will never cease to exist. You are limitless. You don't need anything to complete you. No storm can destroy you. No turbulence can break you. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na shoshayati marutaha. No weapon can destroy you, no fire can burn you. This state of mind is liberation. It is not something you have to attain, it is something that you have to realize. That is why moksha is often referred to as realization. I know you may have 1,000 questions at this point. This brief overview cannot possibly clarify all your doubts. However, I am not going to delve deeper into this because learning Vedanta requires several years of studies. Instead, I'll tell you why Krishna presents this knowledge as a solution to Arjuna's grief. There are many other simpler things he could have said to him, like, Arjuna, this is your duty, you're honor bound to do it. Or, what will people say if you run away from the battle? In fact, he does say all these things later on, but he chooses to begin with Atma Jnanam, the deepest teaching of Vedanta. Why? We will talk about this next week. Thank you for watching. Please do like and share with like-minded people. Namaste.